Talking about let's talk wrestling. Now some of you may disagree with the title. And you might be saying in the comments, but Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, they've been successful. And I know they've been successful, but let's see other NXT champions. There have been 18 NXT champions, and out of that, like 16 have been unsuccessful. NXT is a brand to develop new wrestlers, younger wrestlers, but that's not what WWE is doing. Like older wrestlers like Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, they're just giving them opportunities instead of wrestlers like Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Big E, Finn Balor, wrestlers like those who actually deserve opportunities. Now I'll move on to wrestler number 1, Seth Rollins.
I think I am the best wrestler on the planet.
Now he's been the most successful out of the lot, and he won his title on July 26, 2012. And he's won everything in the WWE. He's won the Money in the Bank, he's won the Royal Rumble, WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship. He's won everything. He's won the tag titles. He's done everything on the company that you can do on WWE. And he's just been so successful. He's been the most successful out of the lot in my opinion. We'll move on to number 2. Everything starts going downhill here. Big E Langston.
Believe in that.
Now, Big E, he was addressed as Big E Langston back then. He won his title on December 6, 2012. And Big E, he hasn't been great on the main roster. He's been throwing pancakes to the audience for 8 years. WWE have just given him a push, and a necessary push. And Big E, he deserves so much more. I mean, we've seen how good he's in the ring. His feud against Apollo Crews has just been amazing. I hope he gets his push soon. I hope Apollo wins the title and he goes on to the main event. Big E deserves much more. I hope they push Big E. We'll move on to number 3, Bo Dallas. Now Bo Dallas. He won his title on the May 23rd, 2013, and he hasn't done anything on the main roster. His NXT title reign though was pretty good in my opinion. On the main roster, he's part of the B team. He was part of the B team, let's say, and he was the sidekick of The Miz. The Miz. Yes, you heard that right, The Miz. And he really hasn't done anything. He's only on the roster. He's only on WWE because of Bray Wyatt. He's Bray Wyatt's brother, if you didn't already know. I don't think he's not even helping the company. He's really not doing anything on the company. He might as well just go to NJPW, AEW or Impact Wrestling because he really isn't doing anything. And we'll move on to the next wrestler, Adrian Neville.
The ultimate thrill ride, the showcase of the immortal.
Now Neville, he won his title on February 27th, 2014, and he's been treated like trash on WWE. He was given the Cruiserweight Championship, and it really doesn't suit him. He's a top wrestler. He's an athletic wrestler. He's a really good wrestler in my opinion. Not main event, but a mid-card wrestler in my opinion. He's run on WWE. It wasn't great. He won the Cruiserweight Championship. He was the best Cruiserweight champion. But we'll move on to the 5th wrestler on this list, Sami Zayn.
I am the champion of the people.
Now Sami Zayn, in my opinion, is really good on the mic. And he was titled on December 11, 2014, and he's really good on the mic. If they show him as good as he's on the mic inside the ring, he could be a top-notch wrestler. I don't know why they're showing him as a weak wrestler in ring. I don't know why he's running away from Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I mean, Daniel Bryan, he's his height, he has the same body physique as Sami Zayn, and Zayn is running away from him. Now he might have a feud against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It's a feud I want to see, to be honest. And I would love to see that feud at WrestleMania. I think it'll be a good feud. We'll move on to number 6, Kevin Owens.
I will be the one to burn it down.
Now KO. I won't say he's been unsuccessful on the main roster, but I think he could have done much better. His Universal title run, I won't say it was great, and he should be moved to Raw in my opinion. Should be given the WWE Championship or the United States Championship. I know the WWE Championship might be a bit too far for him. He won his title on February 11, 2015. He had an amazing feud with Roman Reigns, and it's pushed him so far. People look at him as a decent wrestler now, and not like just a joke. I mean, look what it's done to Jey Uso's career. It's just put Jey Uso to the top. And we'll move on to number 7, my favorite NXT champion, Finn Balor.
I became the WWE Universal Champion.
Now Finn Balor, as Michael Cole addresses him, our first ever Universal Champion, or as Finn Balor called himself, the first ever Universal Champion. And he just held the title for 22 hours, so it isn't big. We all thought he would win the Universal Championship again, but he didn't, and it just ruined his entire career. He won the Intercontinental Championship, but that was literally it, and his title reign even wasn't that good. I was actually pretty happy when Nakamura actually won it, and I really expected much more from him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers currently, but he'll probably drop down from the list if he wrestles like this. I mean, he's not wrestling bad on NXT, but he has much more potential. Finn won his title on the July 4, 2015. Now we'll move on to the next wrestler. He won the title twice. His name is Mr. Commentator Samoa Joe.
I do not celebrate weakness, and I do not believe in second chances.
Now Samoa Joe, he won his title, his first title on April 24, 2016. His second title on November 19, 2016. And Samoa Joe, he's one of the wrestlers that are added to lists of superstars that should win main titles but haven't already won them yet. And he's really talented. One of the biggest wasted talents in my opinion. And now he's a commentator. Even worse, he's not even wrestling. I mean, I love to see a WWE wrestler's perspective on the commentary table, but he's really talented. Give someone like Bo Dallas a commentator's role, but not Samoa Joe. I'm really happy that Wade Barrett has got a commentator's role, but Samoa Joe, I don't see why he's a commentator. He really should be wrestling in ring. His submissions are amazing. His finishers are amazing. And I love to see him wrestle in the ring, I'll be honest with you. We'll move on to our next NXT champion. They had a back and forth, Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura.
I become champion.
Now, he won his title on August 28, 2016. And again, he's a wrestler I like, I'll be honest. I want to see him prosper. I want to see him be a top wrestler in the company. And he got a small push for a while, but then Adam Pearce messed it up. I mean, Adam Pearce didn't, but Roman Reigns attacked him and made Adam Pearce cover him. And I really didn't like the decision. I loved when he won the gauntlet match and he was going to face Roman Reigns. And I thought he got that push, but he didn't. I mean, he was really good in the ring. People were talking about him. He got his old theme song back. We thought he was going to get the push, but he didn't. He's facing Seth Rollins. He lost to Seth Rollins, which is really upsetting. And Shinsuke, he deserves the push. At least his heart is getting a push. At least one positive is there. We'll move on to our next wrestler. Again, Shinsuke won the title twice. Once on August 20, 2016 and the second time on December 3rd, 2016. We'll move on to our next wrestler, the glorious Bobby Roode.
SmackDown Live went from being great to being absolutely glorious.
Now Bobby Roode, he had this rich man's gimmick and he looked like a really good wrestler in my opinion. He should have been on the top of the mid card, or at least in the middle of the mid card, not on the bottom like he is now. He's a tag champion, but no one really cares about those titles. He won his title on January 28, 2017. And he really deserves much more. Not, I won't say a WWE championship, but at least a United States championship. We'll move on to our next wrestler, Drew McIntyre.
I challenge Brock Lesnar.
Now he's a successful one, I would say. August 19, 2017 is when he won the title. McIntyre vs. Roode was an amazing match. And McIntyre, he's won the WWE Championship twice. And now he's going to win it from Bobby Lashley. We all know it. And he's been successful. I won't say very successful, because when he was facing Roman Reigns, I didn't like the way he was wrestling, because he's a much better wrestler. We all know it. He's the chosen one. We'll move on to number 14, Andrade Cien Almas.
I dug you out.
He won the title on November 18, 2017. And he's been released. That's all I'm going to say. He's been released. He hasn't done anything. We'll move on to number 15, Aliester Black.
Those words to me sound like fighting words.
April 7, 2018 is when he won the title. The biggest wasted talent on the roster, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. He's the biggest wasted talent on the roster. Aliester Black, he's just been wasted. He's such a good wrestler. We've seen it. We saw it in the Mysterio Rollins feud. And he can do much more. Aliester Black, he shouldn't be wasted like this. Just because Pritchard doesn't like him, it doesn't work like that. Just because you don't like a wrestler, you can't be impartial to him. We'll move on to our next wrestler, Tommaso Ciampa.
I was never handed anything.
He won his title on July 18th, 2018. And this is the time I tuned into NXT, watched the show. And I saw him as the best wrestler on the roster. And now we see where he is. I mean, I know his feud against Walter will be good, but like he isn't doing much. In that gauntlet match, it should have been Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor. They should have drawn the match, and we could have got them for the NXT Championship, because at least it would be like a 50-50. And Tommaso Ciampa, I don't think he's doing enough, at least for how he is. I saw him as a top wrestler when I first watched NXT, and now he isn't really good. He's a wrestler of top caliber, and he should be utilized well. Instead of using Adam Cole against Finn Balor, give us Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor. Would be better, but the Miz Thatcher isn't really enough for Tommaso Ciampa. We'll move on to our next NXT champion, Johnny Gargano.
They call me Johnny Takeover.
Now he won his title on April 5th, 2019. Tommaso vacated his title, and hence Johnny won. Tommaso vacated his title on March 13, 2019. Many people hate him. They say that he's too small and he doesn't have a great body physique. To be honest, I like Johnny Gargano, but again, some people don't like him. He's wrestling really on rough, and I don't see why he's North American champion. There are many other deserving wrestlers like Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, some names like those. But we'll move on to our next NXT champion, Adam Cole.
That is undisputed.
Now Adam Cole, he won his title on June 1st, 2019, the longest reigning NXT champion ever, and now he got boring after some. I'm liking the way they're going with him, and I hope they don't mess him up, because he's a top talent. I mean, everyone looks at him as a top talent. He hasn't reached the main roster yet, but he will go there soon. We'll move on to the next wrestler, our first ever double champion in NXT, Keith Lee, bask in his glory.
I'm also victorious against your cohesive unit.
Keith Lee won it on July 1st, 2020, almost a year and a month for Adam Cole. Exactly a year and a month actually for Adam Cole. And Keith Lee being a first ever double champion, I don't know why he vacated the North American Championship. He could have just lost it. Keith Lee should have had a longer title reign. It would have made him look stronger on the main roster. Why not on the main roster? I think it's an injury. And his match against Drew McIntyre was decent, but he needs to be in the main event. I want to see Lashley versus Keith Lee, not Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania. Lashley versus Keith Lee will be a match that I would watch for WrestleMania, to be honest. And we'll just move on to our next wrestler, Karrion Kross.
TikTok.
Now Karrion Kross, he won his title on August 22nd, 2020, and had to vacate it 4 days later. I know, really sad, but Karrion Kross, he would have been an amazing champion, and just really sad that he had to vacate it. We all know he would have been an amazing champion, and I can't really talk much about him. We'll see when he defeats Finn Balor again for the title. He never lost. And we'll move on to our current NXT champion, who I already talked about, but I just would like to say a few words about Finn Balor.
And now I'm the hottest thing in the business.
Now the Irishman won back his title on the 8th of September 2020, and he hasn't lost it ever since. He's our current NXT champion. I think he'll lose it to Karrion Kross, but I just love to see Finn Balor in the main event. He's my favorite NXT champion so far, and I just love to see him on this roster. I just love to see him wrestling. That's all I want to see from Finn Balor. I hope they build him up. I hope they give him a better opportunity. If they don't, then it's okay. They can't give everyone a chance. You can't have 5 main events. Only 2 wrestlers or 3 at max get to be in the main event. And I understand why they can't keep Finn in the main event. Let me know thoughts in the comment section down below on this title. And let me know thoughts on NXT overall. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload. Bye.